Hello everyone, happy Thursday. I hope you are all well. Welcome to my Thursday night live stream, but it is a live premiere. Unfortunately, I do have circumstances sometimes where my husband works really early hours in the morning, and sometimes it will require me to do a live premiere like this. So this is the good thing about having premieres. So just to get that out of the way, I hope everybody's well, and I hope everyone's been able to manage to get onto my stream because I do know it's Thanksgiving over in the US. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. And if you're having a wonderful meal with your family, hello to everyone in your family. Hello, hello, hello. So today we're going to be doing watercolour. Now, I have never done watercolour before, and I've never certainly done it live. So you're going to be learning along with me today. So I hope it all goes well. And I'm going to be doing this lovely mousse. Now, it's not a reindeer, but it's as close as I can get. I wanted to do something that seemed a bit Christmassy, but not too Christmassy. For me, I start celebrating from the 1st of December. So it had a bit of holly looking leaves in it, and kind of looks like a reindeer, but it's a moose. So I have my clear water here. I have my dirty water, which is dirty because I've prepped the watercolours. Mixing trays, so I've got my 2-way, I don't know which one I'll be using. And then also I'll be using today the Rowney Aquafine just travel palette really. So that's what I'll be using today. I'll be using a combination of my Derwent brushes and my Montmartre brushes and my Royal and Langnickel watercolour brushes. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my big large brush, which is a 24 brush, and this is just to do a lovely wash of colour. This is just to base the elk or moose or whatever you want to call him. I'm just going to prep this over here, and I'm just going to add a bit of white in. Red is mixed there. And I love when you use watercolour. I love when you use watercolour. Kind of like, looks like you've got, bear with me 1 second. Because why is it when I do my live streams or recording, everyone starts messaging me. I don't have no messages for over an hour, and then I get loads just as I'm recording. So I do apologise about that. But it's crazy how you get. It looks loads on your paper, but it's not. And I think, have I mixed it up? I think that's enough, that colour, and I'm just going to give it a nice wash, and I'm doing it dry because I didn't want to do the wet on wet here purely because I want it more controlled wash. I don't want it mixing or being wishy-washy, so I'm trying to do the whole thing so it's even. I'm going to be doing a wet on wet in the leaves, I think, because I want them to look more textured, but here I just want it to look like a nice wash at the moment. This is just the base tone. And if anyone's wanting to know, I'm colouring in the Karolina Kubikowska. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but fortunately. So it's going to, because I can't remember how Kat told me it went. So I do apologise, Kat, if you're watching. I know I've not pronounced it right and should have looked. So now I've done that wash, but under here, I want to, you know, I've gone in my dirty, not in my dirty one. I've gone in my cleat. Cleat's a light colour. So what I want is to get more of this light colour, mix it in, a lot more of it, which is Chinese white. So this is a mix of yellow ochre and Chinese white. Not really doing well telling you all what I'm doing, am I? Putting that on his hair underneath. Oh gosh, I can't get used to this. I think I might need to move my dirty here, clean there. So let's just add a bit of this back. You're all learning with me. I think this is crazy. At the top of its head, or the moose's head, just going up to the top. The whole of the antlers as well. Probably most likely gonna go out of the lines. I've put a piece of paper underneath just and work the edge without worrying that it's gonna seep through to the pages underneath. So I do hope you're all having a lovely Thanksgiving. You're all eating with your family and you're having fun. Mix a bit more of this light colour. I knew this is what I'm going to have to get used to. The fact that I'm not very good at mixing enough. Then obviously now getting that right colour that I've got there. It's more than likely slightly darker. So this is going to be for Sonia at Gemini Adult Colouring. I'm doing it for her hashtag Watercolour in November. So that's what it's called. Let me just check that. But got that. Because knowing me, it's not. But it is water medium in November. So colour any image using watercolour medium you choose and tag Gemini Adult Colouring. Still in November, so that's where it is. So that's had a bit of time to dry. Okay, so I'm going to start mixing up some colours now. We've just put that first bit, so I'm going to start layering up. I'm going to start putting another layer, slightly warmer. So I'm going to use the lemon yellow, the same one, and the light red, and a bit of burnt sienna. And this will just give it a nice, rich, warm tone. And that's what we're looking for the next layer. And you see where I've got all the sketch lines, that's where I'm going to kind of follow with each layer. I'm going to keep layering up over them areas, so just round his mouth here and just keep going. And I'm just dabbing it on because, to be honest, I don't it's because I've never done it before. I'm not too sure whether it's right, it's wrong, or this is how I'm doing it, and it's kind of got a bit wet at the top there, so I'm not too sure. I don't know what's the right way, but I just wanted to try and use a bit of different media for once. So I'm just going to keep swirling it around like I'm doing, because I don't know any techniques for the brushes, so swirling it, swooshing it around. But I'm just trying to build up texture. And I'm not going completely where it's really, really dark. It's just where it'd be slightly darker. I'm using this colour. And this is where I'm going to have to start mixing some more. And I'm thinking, have I mixed it right colour out? Is it going to be wrong? So just going around the ear and over this bit. So what have you all started colouring for Christmas or December yet? Have you bought any books? What books have you been buying? Let's hope I mix this right. Ooh. Maybe a little bit dark there. Let's just add some water to it. There we go. Just put some of that yellow ochre back in there just to take some of the redness back out. And then the white to just tone it down a little bit more, because it's only our next layer. There's going to be quite a few layers to this. And then I'm just going to put that in the slightly darker sketchy areas, and I'm putting it down in the same motion. Just putting it all down there. So who loves to use water media? Because this is my first go at it. I've used Inktense, and I've used what's the other one I've used? Gosh, I forgot. Neocolor 2s. I can't believe I forgot them. What I was gonna say. So yeah, Neocolor 2s is what I've used, but I've never got my watercolor palette out and actually painted in a colouring book with it. So this is a first. I have done little practices around on paper, but this palette I've literally just swatched, and that's that. So this is a learning curve for me. So you're all watching me learn here. So right now I've used just a wash of yellow ochre and Chinese white for the first layer, and the second layer I'm now using Chinese white, yellow ochre with a touch of burnt sienna and a bit of light red. It's hard really to say what I'm using, because it's going to be personal preference when it comes to watercolour. It's not as easy as saying I'm using the pencil burnt sienna, or because you're going to mix it completely different to me. So just going all in between these little spirally bits, which are not as easy as they look. I mean, I suppose for pencils it's a lot better. And I'm colouring in the Imaginary Friends book by Karolina Kubikowska. And I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. I'm sure Kat did send me an actual voice note of the actual correct spelling of it, but it's gone now, so I've like listened it and then it's disappeared, so I can't listen it again, so I couldn't remember what she said. So I'm sorry, Kat, if I haven't pronounced that right and you're watching. I really am sorry. So now I'm going to start mixing up for the next layer. So again, we're going in with the lemon yellow, then the yellow ochre, then the burnt sienna. I keep building that up till it's a bit darker than the last layer I've just put on. I just keep adding a touch until it's the colour that I want. And I think that looks alright. And I'm just smushing it everywhere. I think that's what I'm going to call this kind of painting, what I'm doing. Smushing. And I'm just going to put all that in the darker shaded areas. And I have found some bargain buys. I have put them in my group, Shellarty and Colouring Friends. If you want to check that out, there is a post where I put some bargains on, but I will tell you which some of them are. Okay, it's a bit orangey this, so I'm just going to wash it out a bit. It's a bit too orange. That's better, it's looking a bit better that now. So if I am doing anything wrong, please do tell me. Because like I said, I am learning and we all have to learn at different ways. So if anyone knows any better on what I should be doing on this, then please let me know. I'm just going to put this layer on, just deepen it up. I want it quite a rich undertone, so when I put the dark colours over the top, they're still going to shine through. And I'm just kind of like dabbing it. I hope the dabbing part is right, but it's giving me the desired effect that I'm after. So some Black Friday deals. Tell you about some Black Friday deals while we're doing this bit. And these were as of today, so they were available when I recorded this video, which was on the 25th of November, so they may have changed. But Winsor Newton had 48 markers for 47% off on Amazon UK. Black Widow Monarch pencils are 50% off. They've been reduced to about £19. Okay, on this colour I'm just adding now more burnt sienna to just deepen up that layer that bit more, but I'm still keeping a red tone at this point. So it's still a mixture of Chinese white, yellow ochre, light red and burnt sienna, but more burnt sienna as each layer goes at this minute before I start going darker. And they also had on pan pastels on Amazon, they had a few reduced 42% off some, so they're about 35-40 quid. Yeah, 40 quid, 39 pound 13. They had a few other bits on, so if you're short of any greens and blues, go check them out on Amazon. And if you go on Shellarty and Colouring Friends, the post, the Black Friday Depot post I've put on as a announcement. So if you go in the announcements tab, you'll find that Black Friday deals comment there. And Shellarty and Colouring Friends link is in the description below, so please check out our group. So I'm just dotting these round in the darker areas, and in between all these bits, try and not go in the holes so it goes to the next page. And just all underneath here. At first I was looking at that going, what on earth is that under its chin? And then I actually googled what it was, because at first I thought it was a reindeer, and then I googled it and found out that it was a moose, not actually a reindeer, with its antlers are a lot different. So now I've just added a bit more burnt umber, and I'm just really deepening it up now, and this will be the last red tones before I start moving on and adding the darker tones into it. I've just added a bit of black there. It just went a bit too black, so I've just added a bit more burnt umber back to it because it took out a bit too much red. A bit of white just to lighten it up. I don't want to jump too dark at this point because we're still working on the lighter areas. I'm just going to wet my brush a bit. I'm just keeping it quite wet. And that looks about good. It's just making sure you know you've got enough, isn't it? It's like, I don't know half at time how much you mix, but I suppose the more I learn to use them, the better I'll get with that. So all round the back of its neck here, in between all them bits, which are quite annoying, with a brush. Starting to look more reindeer now though, isn't it? Well, moosey. Moose, who's a bit less who's. I don't know where I've just got that song from, but that was sure something that was on a advert in the UK at some point in time in my past. So dotting that all in the ears. Oh, were them really dark shadows, I know. Quite looking pretty good that now, I think. Quite happy with that. Not doing a bad job for my first attempt at a picture. Wonder if I'll get a full picture done in one stream. I just round his nose there. See, I've quite like a dark patch around the nose. In his nostril. Look, and I'm running out of paint again. I'm going to have to try and mix it up now. Try and get the same consistency, or can I make it stretch? No, I'm going to have to mix a bit more. So in with the burnt umber, and then I'm going to add the black in. And all this black's doing now is just slowly killing the gold richness out of it. So the layers that I'm putting in now will start to become more of a neutral brown. I'm just going to keep mixing between the two until I get the colour that I want. And just dab that in there where all the darker areas. I think, ooh, I think I'm going a bit too wet here. Just spread it about. Such a learning curve, isn't it? It's like, ooh, see, I'm just going a bit too hard here now. I need to just be careful how much I'm putting on. Just shimmy that about a bit lighter with my brush. Still looking quite red, this colour that I've mixed, so I'm definitely going to have to go a bit darker. Kill it a bit more. Maybe I'll use Payne's Grey, which is an ash, so that'll kill it a bit more. Greys. Kill golds. Just put all this in the dark area again. But this paper's doing really, really well. I mean, what layer are we on now? 4th layer? 5th? And it's not buckling yet. just going to work all under his chin here, and I'm just going to shimmy it a bit. I want to get that furry look, but I can't put strokes in. Maybe I could get a bit more practice with that. I am on some patrons that do watercolour, so I think I might have to start looking at more into the watercolour side and try and learn. But over time I'll probably try and learn to do a fur technique with watercolour, but for now I'm just going to shimmy it about in the areas, but still give it that texture so it looks furry from a distance. But the sketch lines from Karolina help with all that, so you don't have to always put all the texture in. But I'm quite happy how it looks. I like that painty effect, that it's not perfect, and it just looks painty. I like it. So, what are you all colouring so far? What have you been colouring? Started anything new? Have you got whips on the go? I'm just mixing this again. Now I'm going to add a bit of Payne's Grey in this time though. You see how it's killing it better than the black was now. That's the ash tone that's in the grey that helps to kill that red tone. Can you see? I'm just going to keep adding it in till it gives it my... Test it on this paper, see if that's alright. And it's just a little bit too much. I'm just adding a bit more burnt umber in just to add a bit of red back to it. I'm just going to keep it quite wet. I think it's drying up a bit too much now. I'm not putting enough water on. And these are going to go in the very darkest areas underneath. And then bobbling it about. I bet you're all laughing at me now with all my words I'm using here. I'm going all underneath its chin. It's all under there. It's going to be dark. I'm not too sure what this bit is here. I think they have a tuft of hair underneath the necks. Again, I'm just kind of like smooshing it about so it looks like hair as best it can. There's some darker bits on its nose as well. Just going to zoom out so you can see a bit more of it now. I'm looking towards the bottom. Because I've got a couple of whips. I've still got the background to do on Miss Botanical's Sugar Skull, and I've still got the hair to do, so I'm going to do them as uploaded videos, so you will get to see the finished results of them. And I've also got to finish my horse that will be uploaded as well, so keep an eye out on them videos coming. Just going to keep in his nostrils round there. They have kind of like a cow nose, don't they? Like a cow nose and a reindeer head and eyes and antlers. I think that's what made me think it wasn't a reindeer, because a reindeer have got more of a perky upper nose, where this was more like flattened down and it was more like a cow, and I was thinking, this is not a reindeer. So then I googled it, and then I thought it was an elk, but some elks don't have such a flat drooping nose, so when I looked it was a moose. But I'm really liking how this is turning out, really. I just like the freedom of the paint, and you can just go along and do what you want, and it looks how it looks. It's cool. So how many in chat water paint? I'm just going to flick in areas here just to give it a bit of texture, see if I can get a bit more of a furrier look. If not, it's not wasted, is it? I need to find some brushes as well, what I kind of like a bit more. These are alright for watercolours, but I'd like some more detail-y brushes. So if anyone can recommend any, let me know in chat, because I'll be there with you. And just go around his eye. So different to using a pencil. So different. But I'm really enjoying it. Quite like it. I hope you guys are enjoying what's being created in front of you. I just thought I'm always doing pencils. Let's try some paint. And I really wanted to do it for Tanya's hashtag. So I'll be happy I've done that. Just get it a bit more waterier. Just adding a bit of black with the grey now. So I'm still using burnt umber, Payne's grey and ivory black. And this is the darkest parts now of the mousse. I'm just going to go in all the really dark areas now. So in his ear. Just all around here. Maybe do a bit of flicky flicky. Flicky flicky flicky. Flicky 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 flicky. Can still flick even if it's a brush. So he's got himself some bargains these last few weeks, or Christmas shopping wise, could be or if you bought your kids or parents, have you got anything, any good bargains? Mine have been a nightmare. They just don't know what they want. They keep telling me, I want this. Can I have a PC? And I'll say, right, put it on your list. And then next, I don't want a PC. I want a laptop. Right, well, you need to put it on your list and scrub out the other one. I don't think I want that now. I think I'll have such thing. And I'm like, oh, stop changing your mind. Not too sure if I'm liking what's going on around the eye at the minute, but we'll see how it dries. Just looks a bit weird. But it might all come together once it's all dry and he's put all this dirt bit in. Be cool if I could get it realistic looking though, wouldn't it? Mixed up quite a bit this though, because I want to make sure it's the same colour all around. Feels so strange sat here talking to myself because I'm normally talking to all of you. And I'm just sat here colouring away or painting away, talking to myself. It's the only thing I'll miss is actually properly interacting, but I'm be in the chat chatting. So that'll be good. So still with the same mixture. Do inside his eye. Just spread that black out a bit. And then I'm going to get some of the yellow ochre and just pop that in the corner of the eye just to, oops, That doesn't look good. That's kind of all mungled together. Just try a bit of this light red. Just put a bit of it in. No, no, no. Ooh, don't think that looks right. I need to get that off. Made him look like he's got a demon eye. Let's sweep it off. Oh, thank God for being able to do that with watercolour. Imagine if that was marker. That would have just looked horrendous. So that's all that gone. So we'll not do that again. Just get some of the yellow ochre. Just put it in there and leave it at that. Oh dear me. I love that you can just scrape watercolour up. It's so funny. So let's just mix some of these brown bits and just go around the edge of the eye. And on the other eye. Just build a tiny bit of that eye on that side. I think that is looking pretty good. I'm liking this watercolour painty looking thing. I've no idea how to do it realistic, so this is how it's gonna look. I'll just move that up so you can see all the antlers, because we're going to be moving on to the antlers. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe off all this paint that's in this lid. That's not coming off very well. I'm just going to move my round paint palette because I'm not really using that one, and I'm going to use my Caran d'Ache one. It's one of my favourites. And then we're going to use a combination of the top colours, which are lemon yellow, gamboge and cadmium yellow in the antlers, mixed with some reds. So I'm going to do that now. And I keep dipping my paintbrush in my clean water and not my dirty water. Terrible. But I must say these watercolours are lovely actually. These Rowney ones. These Aquafine. So I'm going to pick up some of my Derwent brushes. I'm using the Derwent number 1 brush. It's the thin one. I'm going to mix up here some lemon yellow. Not lemon yellow, sorry. Gamboge. I think that's booge. Boge. Gamboge. It's very, very yellow. And then we're going to add in a bit of cadmium red. Let's get a nice orangey tone. Get more watery. I don't know why I'm dipping it in there though, because there's water in the actual pen. And now that's a little too red. We're going to add some more of that gamboge in. This is hard, this mixing stuff. Mixing and mixing and mixing until you get a colour that you want. But it's getting there, it's getting a bit lighter. So still need a little bit more, it's still not quite. It's a bit too bright. Just test it. Yeah, that's not too bad, quite like that. So I'm just going to go in and flick as I'm doing her. And I'm just going to follow the lines of the antlers that the artist has put in. Because when I'm looking at the picture on the reference, the antlers look more like like a bark of the tree, and they've got them lines in. That's kind of what it looks like on here. It looks like wood, so I want that wood type of effect. And the only way I can do that is by flicking. And I'm going to put these redder tones in and build up on the red tones. So how many of you are celebrating your Thanksgiving today? Are you cooking dinners for your family? Are you going visiting your family? Are you already visiting and you sat on your phones watching? Luckily in the UK is opening up Christmas so we can go and have Christmas with family, so that's good. Because we've not been able to have anyone more than 6. I'm just checking that that is not leaking through. It's not. It's really, really good paper, this. There's quite a lot of layers, this paper. And it's not really buckling, no more than a few little wrinkles, and nothing that it won't fix when you close the book. I'm just going to keep flicking and adding texture. I think that looks good. I think it's getting the desired effect that I'm after. So now I'm going to add a bit more red. I think I'm going to go for cadmium red. No, sorry, light red. Don't know why I thought that was cadmium. I just want it to be a little bit redder. Because in this reference picture there's some quite like deep reddy orangey bits. I'm just going to flick all them in the same pattern. All over. I love this flicking on here. I think I'm always going to be a flicker no matter what media I use. I'm going to be flicky, 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 flicky. So at least it's going to be probably about maybe 2 hours this video, I don't know. Can't even see how long it's taking me to what I've recorded already. Should take note of these things. But hopefully this is not as long as my normal live streams. It shouldn't be. So what's people asking for on the Christmas list? What supplies are you wanting on your Christmas list, or are you hoping to get off people? I just want to save up for my personalised reg plates, so my car will say shellarty. I think it's hilarious. No one will get what shellarty means, but I will. I'll know what it means, and I think that'll be so funny. Giving myself a name. I'm just going to put all this underneath now where the shadowed areas are. I think that is looking good. Just don't forget about this one on this side. I wonder what name we can give him. What name can he be? Just adding a bit of burnt ochre in. Sorry, burnt sienna. Gosh, I'm not good at these names. Burnt sienna. Just to deepen it up again. Because we used light red last time. This time we're using burnt sienna. Might add a tiny bit of burnt umber. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm liking this. Tiny bit of grey. This is just for the shadowed areas, so we can afford it to be a bit darker. I don't want it to be too dark that it looks silly, because the antlers are normally lighter. I just want to give it that texture of layers and like little rivets in the bone. So you all enjoying me doing a watercolour for you all? Is it something you'd like to see more of me doing, or do you like me just doing the pencils, or would you like me to see doing more different medias? I'm not saying I'll be good at any of it, but I'm trying to get there with markers, not succeeding at all with markers. Not succeeding at all. I'm just flicking that all through. Just doing a more flicky, flicky, flicky. We all love our flicking. Just going to go all around the edges. I think I might just kind of like have fun, just let my wrist do what it wants. See what lines we get out of just flicking the paintbrush here, there and everywhere. Kind of liking it, actually. I just love that. I had a feeling this paper would take watercolour really well. I really did. I thought that was quite good. It's thick, quite thick card, so at least this shows people what they can and can't get out of the paper, and it takes pencil well. I've tried pencil in the other book, and this is water media, so I know that my neo colours will be alright on it. My Inktense will be alright on it, so I just need to test markers now and see. No doubt alcohol markers will come through. No doubt. Squirt some water out there and just make it spread a bit more. I'm loving the look of these antlers. It's the best thing for Christmas, isn't it? Reindeers. This is when the kids get excited when they see the reindeers. But my kids are getting older now that, they're not believing in it as much. It gets a bit sad. And just do a bit under here. I think we can afford to go a little bit darker. I'll add a bit more Payne's Grey. and just go in all the shaded areas now. Get all this mixed in it. Then literally just put this in the shaded areas that the artist already put in. I just love her book. There's so many different things in this book to colour. Some are mad and quirky and weird, and others are just like this. And I love how she's got a good mixture of stuff. Just follow this line round here. It proper looks like bornage now. I like it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. I'm loving it like that. Just put a few flashes through the top here. Maybe I'll squash some about here in the middle. And this other antler that I keep forgetting about, that's over here. Get in between them grooves again. And up the top of that one. I can thoroughly say I have actually enjoyed creating this mousse. Let's go a bit darker. Just adding a bit of that burnt sienna back in. Here we go again, trying to mix the same colour. It's going to take it that slight bit darker. Just for the last shadows now. Just right in the corners with them. Just flick a bit through here because it can't. I want to give it that texture, like that 3D effect. Just put a bit in there. Not sure I like that though. I might try and soften that out a bit. That's better. Yeah, I like that. Let's just do a bit more. Same on this bit. So it doesn't look too white. And in the actual reference picture, there's different tones in that really light area, so that'll just give it that effect. Again, I've gone a bit too heavy-handed there. Just smush it out a bit more, it'll be fine. All the things I've got to learn. Soak some of that up, dab it off. There we go. Mistake rectified. So just stick to not being too heavy-handed with it and just add a bit more in where we want it. I think I'd be a bit scared to try her. Even though this is quite liney like her, I think I'd be a bit scared.
Get some of these. Want it to just look that little bit darker in the middle. That's looking pretty much how I'm wanting it to. I'm really deepening up this shadow, you know. How many of you is waiting for the Diamond Art Club Black Friday event? I know I got an email saying members get a access all areas early or something. So I'll have a look what's on, but I doubt I'll be buying anything. I'm just texturising it all now and just giving it a bit of character and a bit of shape. I think that looks pretty good. Just do a bit here. Just flick a bit out here. I'm actually chuffed with them antlers. They look really, really good. So let's zoom out and have a look. I am pretty chuffed with them. They're cool. They look really, really good. So just clean this bit up and then we'll move on to the leaves and the berries. Okay, I'm going to use my Derwent water brush pens, number 1. And I'm just going to wet on wet. I'm going to use leaf green, Chinese white, and a bit of yellow lemon. Just dab it in. Let it see where it goes on the page. And then a bit of leaf green. It's a lovely green. A bit more in and a bit of sap. Mix that in. Just wet these off so I can use them. I'm just going to clean my brush off and go have a bit of sap green in this one. Love that word, sap green. Just dab it in. Bit of hooker's green. Love that name, hooker's green. How many of you knew hooker's green was a colour? Because I didn't. I just thought it was funny that they called it hooker's green. So just dabbing it in. I love this wet on wet actually. It's quite. I like how it just forms its own thing. Just keep moving it around. Just clean it off again. And then go in, wet all the next leaf. Chinese white, lemon yellow, and just dab that in. Gorgeous, that colour. Bit of sap again. Pretty much like that. And try a bit of hookers. Dab that in. Looking good. Just dry my brush off. Wet the next leaf. It might slip into that one now because I've wet that leaf at the side of that one and then the colour's running in. But that's fine. We can do that. Just add a bit of this Viridian green. Oh, it's nice. I like it. Just wet these two at the top. Just get in between the little metal things. I just love this mixture of this leaf and sap. It's lovely. And a bit of that Viridian. Just dot it in. Look at that colour. It's amazing. Just let that dry and see what we get from that. And then clean brush off. And fresh water. And do the next leaf. Might add a bit of this brown in. See what that does. That's looking alright actually. These leaves are probably a bit too green for this time of year. Add a bit on this one. Bit more satin green. Just do the stems. Okay, and then we're just going to wet the next leaf. I'm actually really happy with this actually. I was so nervous that it wouldn't turn out well at all, but I actually like how it's turning out. I think I need to have more confidence in myself when it comes to mixed media. I'm going to use sap. Just dab it in. A bit of hookers and dab that in around the edges. And wet the next leaf. I love how it just runs from one to another and then that makes its own little pattern. Actually looks really good. Just add a bit of Viridian into that. gorgeous colour. So I'm just going to speed this part up now because it's just more of the same with these leaves. So once all these leaves, I'll come back once the berries is on. Okay, so now we're going to start on the berries. I'm just going to do a base of them of lemon yellow and Gambode, I think that was, and Chinese white. Just keep mixing that Chinese white until it's light enough, and this is just for a base. I'm just going to cover the whole berry in them. Okay, and now I'm going to add a bit of vermilion. I'm just going to put a slice of that in there just to make it look a sphere type thing, get that quite wet. And do that on all of them. I'm just trying to make them look as 3D as possible. And then I'm going to use cadmium red hue, sorry, not who. It's a beautiful colour, nice and bright. I'm just going to do the same again, just build up that colour, just put a nice little flick of colour in there. Nice Christmas berries. Soak some of that up, it's a bit too much. I love how you can just suck it up on the brush. It's cool. And the next one. And then I'm going to go even darker. I'm going to go in with Rose Madder. Not too sure if that's a bit pink. No, it's nice and berry looking that. Let's give that another flick around the bottom. Sorry, my head keeps popping in frame there. I think they look really good. Let's just have a look what Alzarian. Oh no, that's way too purple. No, it's going on too pink that now. Just soak some of that up again. Just soaking some of the excess liquid up, because quite a lot on them. And I'll add a bit of Alzarian Crimson. It's just quite a nice dark cherry colour. And I'm sorry if I'm not zoomed in enough for anyone. It's hard to judge when I'm doing it as a premiere as to how close people would want me in. So I just thought if I keep it out this far, then at least you can see what I'm doing, and it's comfortable for people that want to see it far away and close up. It's kind of in between. I just forgot about this little leaf down here. And just use some of this, what we've already got mixed, this dirty green. I had to put dirty green in, especially for Mary. If you're watching Mary, there's the dirty green just for you, that little bush there underneath the moose's mouth. The moose's the moose's mouth. Looks like it's just going to chomp on that berry there, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm looking at doing the background now. So I'm going to do that with my big 26-inch brush. And just make sure that's clean. And then get it in the fresh water. Now, do I use... I think I might use my tubes, because there's only the one grey in this and I think I'd like it. The tubes might be better. So I'm going to look through these and find a black and a white. Where is it? Got to be in here somewhere. Okay. Come on, where are you? Got me white. I have seen it in here somewhere. There it is. So These are the Derwent Academy watercolour tubes. I'm going to use the black and white and I'm going to create a nice grey. I'm just going to squirt the white on the palette first and then a tiny bit of the black once I've mixed this up. There's the black and then just add it in. And I want that like grey, coldy, cloudy background. That's what I'm going for, so it makes you feel cold and when you look at it and like you want to wrap up warm. That's the effect I'm going for. I'm just going to keep wetting that. Yeah, that's the colour I want. Quite find this big brush harder to use than the other brushes. Definitely need a bit more practice with this. It's very soft and smushy. It's harder to control, especially in these little tiny nooks and cranny bits here. I'm just trying to be really gentle with this brush. I don't want any of the paint that I've already done to start mixing in with the grey. Just keep adding it on. I just hope I'm not going to run out. And then I'm just trying to get rid of them brush lines. I don't want them brush lines on. I want it to kind of look like it's just a whirly effect rather than a... I don't want you to really see the brushes, but I want it to have that like cloudy swirling around effect. You know, like if you was walking in a snowy, blizzardy thing and you can't see and it's all grey. That's what I'm trying to go for. So I don't want it to not have no brush lines at all, but I don't want it to have too many heavy brush lines. I think I might swap over to the other brush actually, because this is really hard to use in these smaller areas. I'm definitely going to have to make some more colour. Just hope I can make it the same. Get round all these bits. So, who's bought any new Christmas books? I have ordered the Joanna Basford Christmas and I've also just received the Beautiful Horror Christmas, what I'm going to do a review on my channel for. What other books have I just got? The Tim Jeffs, but they're the only Christmas ones I've ordered so far. So have you ordered or ordering or have on your Christmas list, as I said earlier? I'm definitely going to have to mix some more. Let's try and see if I can get it to spread. Don't think I'm going to get it to spread enough though, so I'm definitely going to think I need to make some more. I'll just put the white on first. Excuse me. Mix that white up. See if we use this black or if I need to add some more. Ooh, that went a bit. I think I need some more white. This is the hard thing when you're mixing and trying to get it the same colour. Let's just add a bit of white in. Might need to add a bit more white than that. No, that's still not matching. I'm trying to get it to match this bit I have on the edge. It's getting closer. Just add a bit of water. Yeah, it's getting lighter now. Let's just hope that this is... Ooh, it's a bit too dark. Let's try and smush it all together now. I'm going to swap for that smaller brush as well. Let's add some white in. Use this smaller brush. Try and smush it out a bit. Yeah, that's better. Now that's starting to look like the right colour. That's what I'm after. So keep with this brush because it's easier to work with in the smaller gaps. Just being careful going around all these leaves. So how many of you have family round for Christmas and have the whole shebang and have all the Christmas dinner and about 20 people in your house? Or do you have the cosy Christmases where you just have a meal in the afternoon and then you have a couple of people around but you spend your day in your jammies? Which one are you? Are you dress up, have everyone round, or are you a comfy Christmas Day person where you stay in your jammies and let the kids play? Which one? Which type of family are you? Whoops. It's definitely good to have this piece of paper underneath and then I can try and not get on the other pages. So I wanted to keep the background kind of light because I don't want it to take away from the moose. Wanted him to stand out and the leaves to stand out. I'm going to make it all look really Christmassy and snowy. Just this last corner to do. See, we're a type of family where we undo all our presents and then normally my husband's mum and dad come round and then we stay in, and if it's, we always alternate, so one year it's my mum's for Christmas dinner and then the next year it'll be Leighton's mum's for Christmas dinner, so we'll alternate. And then if I'm at my mum's, Leighton's mum comes round in the morning and then we just chill all day and then we'll get dressed and we'll go and have our Christmas dinner at which other's houses. So we kind of a halfy family where we'll do a bit of both really. We chill out most of the day and then go out later for our tea. Because we always have tea time Christmas dinner. So like 5 o'clock. Between 5 and 6 o'clock, where some people have it at dinner time, don't they? Lunchtime, sorry, about midday. Let's get round these berries. And just smush some of these lines out a bit more again. And just a bit, I'm just not liking how brushy it looks. And that would be something I need to work on. It'll be so hard to not get my pencils out after and try and give it some texture on that fur. But I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to stick to watercolour and the Posca pens at the end and the glitter. I'm just checking all the bits, the white bits are covered now. just got this to do. And then this last corner, what's just under here. I'm not too sure what it's supposed to be, but we'll just colour it anyway. I'm sure it's just meant to be some kind of shadow, but it needs to be grey. Just titivate around these flowers. Okay, and I'm just going to clean everything up now in preparation for the snow. The exciting part. I'm just going to clean off the top and put my paints away. Clean station makes for good work. I'm not saying my hands are clean, they're full of paint, that's fine. Rags full of paint, that's fine. So I'll just go and move these stuff. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I'm just going to get all my Posca pens out and my Arteza pens. Just have a good mixture of them. I've really been enjoying using these Arteza pens. They're really good. I can't say they've been continuously working. There has been times where the ink is not, or the pigment is not flowing out of them as much as I would like them to. To say that they're constantly flowing, I would question. Who else has got the Arteza pens? Who else has bought them? They are good. I might actually look at buying the gel pens. I might put that on my Christmas list. I'm just going to get out the little foam balls from my Pebbles chalk set. And they'll help with the snow effect that I want. And I'm going to lay that down before I use the acrylic paint. Or the Posca pen, should I say. Not acrylic paint. Get my words all tied up. So I'm just going to use the grabber and the little, it's like a little cotton wool ball. And I'm going to be using my little round paint pad and the Rowney Graduate Acrylic Titanium White. I've just got a little blob in my tray and I'm just going to blob the little sponge in, and then I'm just going to gently dab it on all the leaves, just being careful not to put too much on. Just being a bit gentle here. Dabbing, 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 dabbing to try and create the snow effect. It does look effective though. It is looking like snow. It's probably going to waste the little ball, but I could get little cotton balls from anywhere really. I'm not too worried, or I'll wash them. And I'm going to go all around the antlets now. Now these areas where the snow would land on if he's walking around. Because unlike us, they don't have anywhere to go, do they? They've got to walk round the woods. Poor things. You poor moose, as Tonya would say. making sure that it's on every leaf now. Leaf, not leave. And don't forget, everyone, I'm going to be putting a colouring challenge in Shellarty and Colouring Friends after my exam on the 8th of December. So that'll be starting at the start of December. I'll be putting my Christmas tree on, and I might also do a second pitch so people can choose which one they want to do, just depending on how much study I get and how much time I've got. If not, it'll just be the Christmas tree again. So that'll be on Shellarty and Colouring Friends. Don't forget to be part of the group to do that. Oops. Just 1 second, let me just mush this out a bit. I kind of want it to look snowy and icy, so I want it to look a bit greyer. There we go, that looks better. So yeah, make sure that you're part of Shellarty and Colouring Friends. The link is in the description. Just need to answer the quick multiple choice questions and answers on the group to be allowed in. Once you've answered them questions, an admin will let you in, and then at least you're there then for the competitions. But the group is getting more structured. We're getting more things going on in there, so it'll be quite a fun group. It's got a lot bigger than it used to be, so come along and join us at Shellarty and Colouring Friends for that. And we'll also be doing the Colourathon with there'll be 5 streamers in it. It's not a massive one, it's only a small one. So that'll be the hashtag will be revealed and the streamers will be revealed once we've got everything set in stone and we've got an image. So look out for that appearing on my Instagram and on Shellarty. But it'll be the first one I've hosted, so hopefully it'll go well. But I've got to have a try at it. And I've got some great streamers lined up. You'll all know them, so you'll enjoy it, I'm sure. So please, please, please come and join Shellarty and Colouring Friends. I'm also on Instagram. If you don't already know, I'm shellarty.x on Instagram. You can check me out there. I also upload to my stories anything that's going on with me, whether I've got new videos out and things like that. They'll be on Insta. And I also post them on my personal profile on Shellarty as well as the group. So now I'm going to go along and dot some snow in. I don't really like that Posca pencil. I'm just going to try my other one. I'm not so chuffed with that one either. Let me just try and prime it and get it ready. As you can see, I've been having a practice at trees. I love drawing trees. Something about trees that I just love to draw. No, I'm not feeling this pen either. It's just not giving me the brightness I want. So I think I'm going to use my Arteza pens and just dot away. So I'm just going to emphasize all that snow. Just get it ready a bit. It's a bit dry. See what I mean about it doesn't just flow straight away. So just where the flurry was that was originally there, I'm just going to put all the dots in there. Should have thought about this bit. I should have really zoomed in so you can see what I'm doing. But I'm just basically doing multiple dots, random dots, and I'm keeping my pen quite vertical. Gosh, my words won't come out. Just so that the dot gives it more of a perfect dot, rather, because if it goes on the side, it gives it more of like a flicky dot. It gives it a tail, and you don't want a dot with a tail. So I'm going to go on all the leaves and dot all around the snow. And make sure it's on all of the leaves. So all my social network links are in the description below, so please check them out. The link for this book will be in the description below, and also the artist Etsy store, so you can check out her other work as well as the book. The paints will be in the description below that I've been using, the watercolour paints. If I can find the brushes, I'll put the links in for the brushes that I've used, and I can't think of anything else. I'll put the link in for the Arteza pens. They'll all be in the description below, so if you need anything, it'll be there. Trying to be good. Make sure you've got everything while it's not live and I can't just grab it if anyone asks me. But yeah, mostly I'll be streaming properly. It's just that every now and again my husband might work, because he's a bus driver, he works earlys, middles and late, what we call lates. So he'll be on like till 1 in the morning. So if he's not home at night, I can do these live premieres, which makes it a little bit easier for me. Or if he has to go to bed early, which is the case tomorrow night because he's on very early Friday morning, so he has to go to bed before 9 o'clock Thursday night. So I'll have to be doing the kids' bedtime tomorrow night, so I won't be able to be live. So this is why I've decided to do it as a premiere. But I think they are good. It's just less interaction with everyone. But I'm in the chat talking to you all now, hopefully. So at least I'm still interacting with you. It's just that I can't interact with you through the video, only in the chat. But this is what I'll need to do in order to keep my channel running smoothly. I don't want to miss streams, so rather than miss streams, I'd rather do this premiere. So I hope everyone is okay with the premiere. And I know a few people have asked me if I'll do videos on backgrounds. I did mention in the last live stream that I'm going to do a background series. So I'm going to try and do as many backgrounds as I can. It'll be a challenge for me because I am a background phobe. I'm not big on doing backgrounds. If I can leave it without a background, I will. So it'll be a challenge for me to start doing more backgrounds. I can do bokeh backgrounds, freehand it, or I can do it on stencil. So I'll show you how I do my free-handed bokeh. I'm going to do some watercolour techniques that I've been having a go at outside of like just playing around with them, with my neo colours and my ink tints. I've got more bubbles that I can show you how to do. So I'm going to do a background series that's going to go on my channel under the playlist as a background series, and then I'm going to do some hair colour series. These are just future plans. I'm just waffling now while I do all the snow. They're just literally doing millions of dots and dots and dots. So I will be doing a few more different things in my channel. So now the snow is all on the antlets. I keep calling them anklets, they're not antlers. I think that looks pretty good now. Pretty much in all the areas I need it to be. And all this dotting. Make sure everywhere's covered where I want it to be. All at the back of his ears. That's where all the snow fall on top of his head. And just a bit more here. That really does look like snow now. Like a frosty snow. going to see where else needs doing, just along here, just a few up here. I think that's done, just a few here. Then I think I want to try and do some snowball effects. I'm just going to do some circles all along the top. Not sure whether this is giving me the effect I want. Think I might try the acrylic paint and the little sponges I was using before for the snow, but the smaller one out of my pebbles set. You get so many of these in here anyway, and I probably wouldn't use these little sponges. I'd probably use my applicators that I've got anyway, so it's not a sad loss if it gives me the effect I want. So I'll get the smallest little ball out, put it on the applicator. There they go, Pebbles Classic Chalks. Just dip it in the acrylic paint and then I'm going to just blob it everywhere. Hopefully this will work. Oh yes, that's the effect I want. To look like different shaped snowflakes everywhere. And it's just subtle, so it's like, because I've just got this vision in my mind that in a blizzard you don't really see the shapes very much, so this will kind of like capture some shapes and not in areas, so that's the kind of effect I'm going for, and I think that's coming through really. I like it, and it looks really Christmassy. I think everyone's having a start at the Christmas stuff, so I thought, gotta get with the trend, even though my Christmas doesn't officially start till the 1st of December. It might even be later this year because of this exam. Depends how much revision I can get done. Just going to keep blobbing these all in random areas. Blob, 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 blob. I'm not too bothered if I do some too white because they're all different, aren't they? Do you get some whiter snowflakes? I can't wait. I hope it snows in the UK. I get so jealous when I see in America or even in Europe, some places in Europe get really thick snow. Even Scotland gets quite a lot thicker snow than we do. We very rarely get it here. And if we get an inch of snow on the floor, everything grinds to a halt and even school's shut. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't drive in it. I hate driving in snow. It scares me. Only because when I was younger, my mum did a 360-degree turn when she went for to turn a corner on ice. I'm just going to randomly dot some more around till I'm happy with it. I think that looks pretty good. So now it's time for the glitter. So I'm going to just get my Podge Sparkle glue. And I'm just going to dab that glue all over to get the lid off. It's sticky. But this is a sparkle glue, it's the Mod Podge Sparkle, so that also sparkles as well as the glitter that I'll be putting on as well. I'm just going to randomly stick it all over in different places on snowflakes. On the little flurries that's drawn on by the artist. And I like to let it go a little bit tacky, so I don't mind putting all this on first before I use the glitter because it helps it stick when it's gone off a bit tacky. Then I'm going to be using my paper craft glitter glue, not glitter glue, glitter, sorry. And we're just going to sprinkle that on when I get the lid off. It's a bit of a tough lid. I'm just going to sprinkle, 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 all where I've just put that glue. And I don't mind that it goes all over the page for now. And just put some more glue in all the other areas. So how many of you already have your decorations up? Or your tree at least? Or lights at the front of your house? I bought my lights to put up. I've just not put them up. Because my old set's gone all funny and rusty, because I just leave them on my house all year. Because I'm lazy to take them down. Jane put them all up for me, if Jane's watching. And now I've got to take them down and put a fresh set up. Jane got on the ladders because I don't do ladders, and I had a right rickety pair of ladders last time. I'm just going to stick some glue all on the antlers edges as well. But I love this glue because it's like that ice snowy glue. I'm just going to sprinkle it all over that glue in a second when I've put this last bits on. I love this Mod Podge glue. Could just cover the whole page in this Mod Podge and it'd all be glittery. But I don't want a glittery mousse. Only where the snow is. So now I'm going to sprinkle this literally all over the page once I've just done a few more snowflakes. To never have too much. There's never enough glitter for me. Never enough. I am not even going to attempt to sing that song. Okay, so now the fun bit. Just going to sprinkle it everywhere now. Not bothered if it goes on thick. So I'm just going to put a piece of paper underneath and pour it off, and then put the excess back in the bottle. So I'm not bothered how much we get on the page. You can just cover it. And just stick this piece of paper at the bottom of my page. And then just lift the book up and shake it off. It's like snow in itself, innit? Little avalanche. Just give it a good tap. And then we'll pour that excess back in the tub. It's gorgeous glitter glue that. It's proper iridescent, white, very, very fine glitter. And just pour that back in there. Be reused again another day. And that is the glitter part finished. Just got to do some highlights. Just give it a little dry with my little dryer. Sorry if it's loud. And this just is a hot air gun. I think a lot use it for embossing. That's pretty much dry. just pop the glue away. Just pop the little highlights in the eye. And then the little berries. The nostril. And look at that, all sparkly and shimmery. All winter, Christmas time coming. Oh, love it. I actually really, really love it. So let's zoom out and have a good look at it. And I think for my first attempt at watercolour, that is really, really good. Well, I think it is anyway. So I want to thank everyone for watching tonight, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. It's a bit different from me. I normally use pencils, but tonight I wanted to be a little bit different and do Tonya's hashtag before November was out. And I liked having a bit of mix around on the page. That's been really good. And I'd like to thank everyone for watching tonight, my mods who come every week. They were there for me, everyone in chat, everyone that's lurking. Thank you so much for watching. And all the new subscribers that I've just had, all the thumbs ups. Thank you. Much love to everyone. But thank you and bye. Bye.